Hi guys, this is Goddess Starla Vamp, back for another segment of Ask a Dominatrix, where I answer your questions about fetish, kink, and BDSM. And I'm going to try to get to every one of your questions. So someone has written, what is the psychology behind cross-dressing? And this is something that I've touched on before in my other videos. And it's a very loaded concept, and it's worth coming at it from a lot of different angles to try to unlock the reasons and the situations behind this kind of, if you want to call it a behavior. And it's something that we like to do, including myself. I like to put on a suit and tie and pretend I'm in a Annie Lennox music video, so I would consider that cross-dressing. It's a kind of exploration and seeing yourself in a different perspective from a different angle, and I think it's personality building. As for men dressing as women, the difference of putting the clothes on and taking them off as a transformation, I think the concept of crossing over is very attractive. Something about the grass is greener on the other side is this concept throughout human history that just does not go away. And cross-dressing is one of those things you get to cross back. You get to go to the other side where the grass is greener, check it out, and then come back. And then maybe you learn a thing or two. And I think something about this behavior, a rush of adrenaline, exploring these things, it's very attractive and seducing. And a kind of escapism. I know it's not the same thing, but sometimes one of my girlfriends would go out of town and I would house sit for her, and she said, you can wear my clothes for a session. You can wear my latex dress. And I would sort of pretend I'm going to be my friend. I'm going to dress up like her for a day. I'm in her apartment wearing her things, using her riding crop. It's a nice little escapism. Maybe you want this idea that you're slipping into shoes that are bigger than yours and you want to try to learn how to fill them. And if you're dressing up as someone, it's because you admire them. So I think dressing, if you're a man dressing as a woman, it can come from a place of admiration. And it's also the attractiveness of secrecy. It's this nice little secret that you have with yourself. I know, well, not that I actually know firsthand, but I have people write to me that their wife will go out of town and the husband will wear her clothing and she has no idea. Absolutely no idea. So I think that secrecy in itself, the addiction of, okay, I'm going to put the clothes back exactly as they were so my wife will not notice. And this becomes a habit. And it's a transformation. It doesn't take a lot of restructuring of your life and your plans to put on a piece of clothing and then take it off. Here we go, the hot seat. Why would someone want to endure physical pain inflicted by someone else? So there's a lot of angles that this can come from. And I think I'm going to start with the sense that it's for attention, for companionship, and for thrill seeking when it's done the right way, when it's consensual and caring and a conversation and coming from a place of respect. One person should not be overriding the other person. That's not what the consensual agreement is. And you should be able to call red and get out of the situation if need be. But it can create a social bond, and it's also an experiment in mutually seeing how the other person reacts. So it's kind of a study. What is so alluring about suffering for someone? I think that's a tough question, actually. It's hard to unpack. I think it's like the encouragement to be challenged and to persevere through a difficult situation, and that kind of the guiding hand. We want to believe in benevolence and some kind of benevolent force. So we want to believe in someone who can take a step before us and we can follow. I think it gives us trust in the world that there is guidance and there is someone with a plan and who will put thought into it. We want to be able to trust people. It is not motivating if you are surrounded with people you do not trust. You want to be able to have a meeting of the mind with someone to reach your full potential. It's kind of a long answer, but I think it's a hard question. Does BDSM always have to incorporate latex and whips and chains? No, totally not. I think if you're wearing kind of more casual clothes and you're more in a domestic space, it might be confusing for the fantasy and for that to translate. It might not be so easy to mentally switch into an out of your comfort zone kind of scenario. But you can go to Airbnb and like do some kinky shit. Like it doesn't have to be a dungeon. You can wear cotton underwear, but I think it's just about creating the understanding of the fantasy and just being excited with your partner about the psychological play that you're gonna do. And it can be even kinkier when it's like mundane objects. I had a friend who she had some kind of like exercise strap that you put over the door, and I don't know, there's all these like exercises that you can do to hang off of it, but she would like tie up her partner in it and like use all this yoga gear, and it was just like, and she would be wearing yoga pants and they'd be doing all this kinky shit, and it was just really fucking cool. What is your favorite way for a submissive to show devotion? Oh, this is going to be such a cheesy answer, but when he's listening And if he like repeats something that I said to show he's listening, I'm like, oh my God, you're paying attention. This is great, because it shows that he's there to get outside of himself and to just not be in his head and be self-serving for everything that's happening. So when he keeps his word, when he's punctual, I can't even tell you, like, just these little bits of etiquette, how to me it adds up and it shows respect. Because in delving into all these situations and like you're mucking around with like all this psychology and stuff, it's just so nice when someone shows up on time, or if they're gonna be late, then they text, I'm gonna be 15 minutes late. It's just considerate. So it's just so nice to have just basic manners and politeness, and it's just so attractive to show communication and that the person is trying and they're trying their best to explain their fantasy. And aside from that, it's like just sort of a courtesy check-in, or if like something, if situations are all over the place, and it's just nice, like someone check in, are you okay? And it just shows that they see me as a person, and to me that's like, that is devotion, is like, yes, you can be this fantasy lady, but I know you're real and I'm just checking in. Why would a guy want to be in a chastity device? I just like, I don't have a dick, so I don't know. But the way that I see it, it's just a way to make things interesting. It's physically challenging, but I think it's more for the mind fuck of it. And it's just thrilling. It's the hot button. The dick is the hot button, and you're just playing around with fire and like trying to figure out what makes yourself tick. I think that, dare I say, it's the element of chaos that is you're having fun with, but like to a point, because it's really, it's painful, but it's not so risky, and I think it's within reason. How do you ensure your safety when engaging in power exchange where you are effectively handing your freedom to someone else? You can tell a friend, I'm going over here, I'm doing this, I'm gonna call you at this time. You do want to be safe. We are reasonable people, and it's not for self-sabotage or anything like that. So do some research too. If you're going to see someone that you've never seen, check reviews online, like if it's a professional mistress. I know I was playing with someone and people would ask me for a reference, like, is this guy okay? Like, how did you find him? So ask references, just ask around, learn what their reputation is, and then just make the best educated decision that you can. And a lot of A lot of playing is instinct, and if you just have a bad feeling, don't do it. Don't question that feeling. The term "go with your gut." It will lead you. It will steer you in the right direction. Communication is key in any relationship. It seems like it would be especially critical in a power exchange type relationship. How do you ensure you get honest answers from someone who is obviously enamored by you and worships you? Or they therefore might just tell you what you want to hear? That's tricky, because if you're flustered or you sort of get into like a subspace and you're willing to do whatever, if you're not going to give that information, then you're just not going to know what it is. You're not going to know otherwise. So it's up to you, and it's your responsibility as a submissive going in to see a mistress to give her honest answers. And you don't have to do just everything that she wants to do. Make it clear at the beginning of the session, I'm into this, and tell her, I want to communicate what I want to do, because you can just have it steered in a direction where you end up doing something and you're doing it just to be nice and you don't want to like break the spell, but it's your body. You're the one that showed up. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Just communicate. Because if you're not telling her, otherwise she's not going to know. We aren't mind readers. So communication is key. That's all for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys again.